We're going to start lying on our backs in Shavasana. Just begin letting the body drop down. Taking these first few moments of our practice to simply stop. Notice where the body meets the floor. And notice your overall level of energy, sense of prana. Notice any shifts that might be occurring physically or mentally, emotionally, as we just come to rest here, resting in awareness. Giving the body and the brain, the mind, time to arrive and settle. Allow your breath to breathe you. Watching the breath come, watching the breath go, noticing any space between breaths. Now let's begin our movement inquiry by hugging the knees in toward the chest. The hands can help or not. Lengthening out through the lower back, maybe finding a little sway side to side or a little circle of the knees. And just noticing how the body is responding to a request for movement. From here, Supta Padangusthasana. So let's use the belt perhaps around right foot, releasing left foot to the ground initially. Stretch right leg up toward the ceiling. The knee can be bent here, particularly if the tailbone and the pubic bone are really curled up to get the leg in. Let's uncurl and then maybe slide the left leg out straight. So the value of the belt is to keep the spine neutral. So if you have to reach and round your upper body to get to the foot with your hands, then a belt would be helpful here. So your triangle table, or these two frontal hip points, and your pubic bone are all level. And then from there, we maintain that alignment of the pelvis and draw the leg in if it's ready to do so. If you feel like you need a little bit more movement, a little more kind of easing into the movement, or just movement in general, you can bend and straighten a few times. Downside leg is active. We're pressing the back of the thigh down, reaching through the leg, reaching through both legs and through both heels. And now maybe staying with the leg straighter for a few breaths. Let's offset the left leg out to the left a few inches and then open the right leg out to the right. If you feel like the weight of the leg is pulling the pelvis off kilter, or you just want extra support, you can put your block underneath outer right hip. Here too, you could bend and straighten a few times. So we're looking to be sure that the left side of the pelvis isn't up relative to the right side of the pelvis. Let's bring the right leg back up and then release both feet to the ground. Belt around the left foot, stretching the leg up. If you're rounding to reach the foot, using the belt for sure, any kind of belt or scarf will do. We kind of plug the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. Maybe straightening right leg, energizing through both legs, like you could reach more through the heels, and maybe bend and straighten left leg a few times. And then leg could remain straight here. Take a look down, make sure your pubic bone isn't up relative to your frontal hip points. Often we prioritize getting the leg closer to the body over a level pelvis, but this approach, this alternate approach, really helps us to isolate and move different body parts more independently. Breathing into the places where you feel the most resistance. If you'd like to use the block on the other side, you might hear. So we bring it right up against the outer right hip, outer left hip, and open the leg out to the side. The block will help keep the right hip from reaching up, from being up relative to the left hip. And maybe bending and straightening the leg again a few times. Let's bring the leg back up. Can set the belt down for now, bring both feet down to the ground. And then from here, we're gonna come into a Supta Dandasana. So legs are up to vertical. We wanna put the block on top of the right foot and balance it there. And then you can bring your left arm alongside your body. And we're gonna stretch right arm up toward the ceiling. So the block is on the right foot, the right arm is stretching up, the left leg is stretching up. And now the right leg isn't going to move. We're going to keep the block balanced there and open the right arm and left leg away from each other. And then back up. Let's try that a few more times. It's an intentional movement, of course, certainly to help balance, but also it's like we're creating our own resistance here. The legs are active. The arm is active as it's reaching. The pelvis is staying steady and the limbs are moving independently. So left leg's going out to the side, not just straight down. So like you're coming into that shape that you were just in with that one leg. There it is. Couple more times on this side. We're building up to Vasisthasana again today, side plank, with a special focus on the adductors. Let's switch sides. Maybe you can switch the block to the other foot up there. Woo. Uh-huh. And then the right arm can come down alongside the body, left arm stretching up toward the ceiling, left leg stays where it is, arm and leg move away from the midline. Going slow on the way down, going slow on the way up. Not crazy slow, but just moving intentionally. And keeping that left leg still. It might want to kind of go out to the left to help counterbalance, see if it doesn't, you can not move it at all. One or two more times. And then at the end of that one, you can remove the block from underneath or from your foot, and let's place it between the inner thighs up by the knees with the feet on the ground. Interlace your hands behind your head. Squeeze the block, root evenly through the feet. Inhale, you can find a little back bend here and root down through the arm bones. And then exhale, lift head and hands, curling up. Elbows come toward each other, toward the knees. We're still squeezing the block. Expanding wide on the inhale, maybe rocking down toward the tailbone, and then root through the lower back as you curl up with the exhale. Option to bring the knees over the hips. Keep squeezing the block. Keep moving with the breath. Last couple times, press the arms down on the inhale. Curl up on the exhale. And then releasing down, you can set the block aside and roll onto your side. I'm rolling onto my left side first. It's up to you how you want to go. Your arm could be straight. You could have your elbow bent. But let's, if possible, if your space allows for it, have your sacrum and the back of your head in line with the back edge of your mat. This just ensures that we're in a straight line rather than hinged at all. So you can kind of just feel the back edge of your mat and see like, oh yeah, my head was forward relative to that. Sacrum relatively flush against that back edge as well. Okay, and then we'll plant the foot, top foot into tree pose on top, Vrikshasana. And now for me anyway, my ribs just kind of went right forward. So I'm gonna bring my ribs in toward the midline and kind of down and toward the back body. You can also engage your buttock muscles to help keep from tipping over. We're actively drawing the knee back, but the top of the pelvis forward. Knee back behind you, top of the pelvis, upside of the pelvis, out in front of you. From here, finding your belt. For Anantasana, we'll take the belt around this top foot and stretch the leg up. Again, some of you can hold the foot, but if it means you're kind of rounding or collapsing or losing your alignment, then the belt is a good idea. Belt, scarf, towel, t-shirt, whatever. And then we try to bring that top part of the pelvis forward to stack over the bottom. Squeeze your buttock muscles to stabilize. Root through the downside leg to stabilize. Pop the belt off. And we'll bend this top leg and plant the foot as high up as you can. You don't have to go crazy with it, but high up as you can ground the foot, and then lift the bottom leg. The toes point forward, there's no rotation, and we're just holding here. Breathing. Lifting the leg as high as you can, keeping it straight. Head is heavy, jaw is relaxed. Energy through the bottom leg, through the stretching leg. Last few breaths, keep lifting the leg. Release the leg down. We're gonna roll to the belly, let this knee come down. You can turn the belly a little more opposite that knee to the other side, so you're more flat on your belly, head down. And then we're not trying to reach to connect to the foot. We're just gonna keep the knee where it is and straighten the leg. Ooh. And then slide the leg away from you to try to bring this side of the hip down. You could try to externally rotate the leg a little bit, inner thigh up, toes rotate up. Rolling back onto the same side that we have been on. Now we'll plant this top foot behind and put your block in front of the lower leg, in front of that downside lower leg. You can go low or medium setting. We're going to lift the leg up and then land it in front of the block. Lift it up, land it behind the block. If it seems too easy, you can go higher setting on the block. Moving slowly with intention. You might imagine there's a weight on this inner thigh. A couple more times. Great. And then once the leg is back where it started, you can roll onto your other side. We start with our side lying tree pose. Again, you can use the back of your mat as a kind of guide, bringing your sacrum all the way to the back edge of the mat, and then also bringing your head all the way to the back edge of the mat. Whether the arm is straight or bent is up to you. Placing the top foot on the bottom thigh. Bring this top side of the pelvis, this top hip forward to stack over the bottom hip. Engage your glutes. Release the weight of your head. Anantasana, probably taking the belt around the top foot, stretching the leg up. Bringing the top hip forward to stack over the bottom hip. You might kind of shimmy the bottom hip back. Like the sacrum is moving in toward the front body. Breathe into your back, backs of the ribs, backs of the lungs. Okay, we'll pop the belt off. We'll plant the foot as high up, this top foot, as high up as is comfortable, where you can fully ground. And then we lift the bottom leg and hold. Toes point straight forward. Breathing steadily. Keep lifting the leg. Lower the leg down. Just roll onto your belly here. So your knee is out to the side. You can slide your knee further away from you and then just straighten the leg from the knees. Not attempting to reach for the foot, just a slightly different stretch here. Head is down, forehead down, so the neck is neutral. Maybe adding some external rotation to this left leg. So inner thigh rolling up and out. Toes pivoting up with the leg. You can bend the knee, roll back onto the side that you were just on. Now we're going to place this top foot behind you and the block in front of your bottom lower leg. Lifting the leg up, placing it down in front of the block, and then behind. Create your own resistance, reaching through the leg as it lifts. Couple more times. And then at the end of that one, whenever it is for you, you can roll onto your back again just for a moment, touching into Shavasana. Notice what you notice. Plant your feet. Interlace your hands underneath your head. Root through your lower spine, really root. Lower spine stays connected to the ground. Legs come up to vertical. Let's grab a block actually. Let's place the block narrow setting between the thighs, just below the knees or just above the knees. And then keep squeezing the block. We're gonna lower, lower, lower until we feel like any lower and the spine would come off the ground. Legs stay there. Lift your head. Rooting through the lower back, stretching through the legs, squeezing the block. Elbows can stay wide here or go narrow. And then bend the knees. Bring the head down. Let's take the block out. Roll to your side and come on up. We're going to come up to a 90-90 position with the left leg in front. There's a 90-degree angle between the front thigh and calf, between the back thigh and calf, and between the two thighs. If this is a really tough position for you, you can be more leaning into the left hand. We want to really be upright here, so you can use a block beneath your left hand. And let's angle sternum over the left knee. Just hinge a little bit forward, keep the chest lifted, and then try lifting the back foot up and lowering it down. Back foot lifts up and lowers down. Actively press the front leg into the ground the whole time. Sitting up tall, notice if the head drops, mine just was. One more time, lifting the back foot, hold it for a moment, and then lower the foot down. Keep your orientation forward, lift the back knee, and lower it down. Keep rooting through the front leg. Try not to open the torso to the side. One more time, let's lift the leg and hold for a moment. Keep pressing front leg down, front lower leg down. And then lower the leg. And let's swap sides. So now the right leg is in front. We have these 90-degree angles here, here, here. Orienting your torso to face forward, out over the front knee, the right knee. Pressing the front lower leg down from knee all the way to the foot. You can lean forward a little bit. You can lean off to the side. If it's hard to sit up, just do your best. We lift the back foot and lower it down. Two sides are probably different. Keep rooting through the front leg. Next time you lift the foot, just pause, hold for a moment. See if you can bring that left hip back a little bit. And then lower the foot down. Keep orienting forward. Lift the back knee. And lower it down. Keep rooting through the front leg, especially the knee. Resist this tendency to kind of open up through the torso. Okay, this next time we'll lift and pause for a moment, pressing strongly down through the front leg, front lower leg, and then release the leg. And then from here, we'll come to tabletop. Planting the hands evenly, pushing the floor away, slightly externally rotating, so your hands like kind of corkscrewing out a little bit. Let's tuck the toes under, and then right from the hip crease, lift up, so shoulders still stack over wrists, and then let the hips keep going up as they go back into downward facing dog. Knees could be bent here. Continue this sense of lifting through the hip crease or through the lower belly, pushing the floor away. Head can be heavy here. Walk your feet up toward your hands. Feet hips width apart. Bend the knees as desired. Vasisthasana, hands under feet. Press the feet down, press the hands down. Let the head hang. And then you can try pushing the feet down and gently tugging the hands in opposition. Release your hands out from under you. Let's sweep the arms up. And then bring them together at heart center, hands in prayer. Reach your arms forward, really stretch forward. And then arms up alongside the ears, bend your knees, Vasisthasana, chair pose. Hands touch down. Let's step back to plank pose. Energy through the legs, getting that little dialing outward of the hands. They're not actually moving, it's isometric. Push the floor away, and then just soften a little bit between the shoulder blades. Lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's keep the hips level here as we float the right leg up and back to three-legged dog. And then shift forward and bring the right leg into pigeon shape. You can walk your left leg back. We want the hips to be level here, so support as you need to create that. Maybe blanket or even bolster, block underneath the right hip, or creating your own level by rooting down and hugging in. With your inhalation, rise up. If you can be hands-free, be hands-free. Exhale, come forward. Keep the head in line with the rest of the spine. Inhale to rise back up. Exhale, lengthen forwards. Now, don't need to come really all the way down, just relatively to keep the spine neutral. Keep going. Root to rise. There's a scissoring of the hips action that you might explore. The right hip pulling back, the left hip drawing forward. If you need to use your hands, of course, do so. A few more times. Not really rounding the spine. It's more just a hinge forward. And then you can bring your hands back down to the ground. Let's step back to plank pose. Energy through the legs, rooting evenly through the hands. We'll do some scapular retraction, protraction here. So we allow the chest to sink toward the floor, shoulder blades move toward the spine, and then lift, shoulder blades spread away from the spine. Try not to let the shoulders move up toward the ears. And then the next time you protract, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Float the left leg up and back, three-legged dog, hips are level here. Exhaling, left leg comes forward for pigeon. Hips are level here. Unless you're getting a lot of pinchy pain, then you can kind of be off to the side. But if you're able to, really want to support the front hip, front thigh. And then when you're ready, maybe hands free. And exhaling to hinge forward. Rising up. Whatever's on the ground is actively pressing down into the ground. You can hug your knees in toward the midline, toward each other. See what that does. Couple more times. And then plant your hands. Step back to plank pose. And lower all the way down onto your belly. Arms out to the sides. Forehead down. This is scorpion kind of shape. So let's lift the left leg, keep it straight, and then lift the hip and open the hips. Once the hips are open, then bend the knee and see if you can tap the floor with your foot. Rewind. Other side, leg is straight. Lift the leg, lift the hip, open the hip. Then bend the knee and tap the foot. One more each side. From here, plant your hands beneath your shoulders. Let's rise up to plank. Lift through the lower belly, downward facing dog. Float the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Keep the hips level here. And then as you come forward, you can really lift through the hips and tuck the thigh into the trunk. Then place the foot to the outside of the right hand. Let's create one long line of energy or wave, wave line from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So we don't want to drop the head or the chest here. Send your chest forward, drive the heel back. Try to drop your right hip a little bit and really lift up through the left thigh. You can actively press into the floor with your hands through all the digits and the knuckles. Okay, push the floor away with your hands even more. So you can bend the knee and send your foot toward your right hip. So I'm pressing my right leg, inner knee area in toward my arm. And then plant the foot, downward facing dog. Hips stay level as you reach the left leg up and back to three-legged dog. That's it. As you shift forward, you can really lift through the hips. Tuck the knee in toward the chest so the foot clears the mat until it lands to the outside of the left foot. Probably staying up on the hands here, even if you're accustomed to coming down onto forearms, just like on the first side. So you got this neutral wave in the spine. So some of us have to kind of lift through the back of the head, not the chin, just the whole back of the head coming up if the head is tending to drop down. Reaching back through the heel, forward through the chest, dropping a little bit through the left hip, and really press right thigh up toward the ceiling. I didn't mention on the first side, but engaging your right glute would be a good idea here. Since the hip is in extension. Now you might paste press that left inner knee up against the left arm wherever it meets. You can lift the foot off the ground and then bring the foot back to downward facing dog. From here, let's walk the hands back toward the feet. Feet hips width apart, hands under feet, palms down, thumbs out. You could have arms straight, but you might feel a better or different stretch if you bend the elbows back toward your shins. Almost like you're peeling the bases of your palms up away from the ground, but resisting with feet down. Keep your hands out from underneath your feet. Let's come back through Utkatasana, chair pose. And then rise and let your arms float down through this ocean of energy. Okay, let's take a wide stance, Prasarita Padottanasana. Lots of arm variations potential here. I'll leave it up to you if you want to do any of those variations, or we simply fold and bring hands down to the ground. If your hands are on the ground or on blocks, please have them at least shoulder width apart. We bring them together. It's going to close the chest off. So we want to spread the collarbones. You could bend the knees at some point or the whole time. Maybe head grounds. Really active here, rooting through the feet, lifting through the inner thighs. Lifting through the knees, so I'm squeezing my quads. Walk your hands forward so they're underneath your shoulders. And then bring hands to the hips and rise all the way up. Take your time. Let's turn the right toes out. Can leave the left foot where it is. Let's go into warrior two. We bend the knee and extend through the arms. Last couple of breaths, root more through the outer edge of the back foot. Almost like you're trying to lift this left inner thigh away from the floor. Straighten the front leg, Trikonasana, triangle pose, stretching out over the leg, maybe hand coming to a block. Turn through your center, then extend through the arm. Root and reach to rise. Drop the arm down. We'll pivot for warrior two on the left side. That's it. Bend the knee. Energy through this back leg. See what it feels like to try to lift this right inner thigh kind of back or up and back. Straighten your front leg. Trikonasana. Let the hips rock back. Elongating. We stay really long through this left side. Turning through the ribs. Energy through the arm, through the arms, through the legs, through the spine. Root and reach to rise. Pivoting back for Parshva Konasana, side angle. On the right side, so right toes point straight forward. Bend your right knee, stack it over the ankle. You can bring your hand down or your forearm to your thigh. Turn through your ribs. Stretch long through your left side. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Could leave the arm up or bring the hand to the hip. You could use a block under your right hand to bring the ground a little closer. That's going to help create more space and more ability to stack hips and stack shoulders. Really active through this airborne leg. Drawing your top hip back behind you. Look down at the ground. Stretch your left leg way back. Land light as a feather. Rising up. Pivoting for Parshvakonasana, side angle. The left foot forward. Take your time here. Coming in. Forearm to thigh, maybe hand to a block. We want to roll through the ribs and stretch long through the right side. This arm can come straight up toward the ceiling or to the hip. Transitioning to half moon. Balancing on the left leg. If you're kind of rounding or you see that your top shoulder and hip are forward, using a block would be really helpful to help stack the hips, stack the shoulders, and create space through the left side of the torso. Look down, lightly land the right foot at the back of the mat. Rise up. Can bring your feet together underneath your frame. Coming into mountain pose. Maybe close your eyes for a moment here. Be the witness to your experience. Gently opening your eyes. I'm coming into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. This is translated as extended hand to big toe. You might want your belt here. Again, same concept as when you're on the floor. If you have to round, lose your nice posture in order to get to your foot, then you're not doing yourself any favors. Okay, so let's start with the weight in the right foot. And let's bring the left leg, actually let's bring the left leg directly into tree pose, essentially, with the belt. And then from here, extend the leg directly out to the side. Turn the belly opposite the leg. Reach up through the crown of the head, root down through the foot and the leg. Maybe look to your right. You can bring your gaze forward with control, lowering the foot. Second side. First, we pay attention to the standing foot, standing leg. And bring your right foot, or whatever your second side is, into Vrikshasana, this belt-assisted tree pose. And then when you feel stable, stretching the leg out to the side. Standing up tall, rooting down strongly, turning the belly to your left, maybe looking to your left. Glue the big toe down. And then when you're ready, calmly bringing the foot back down. Okay, we're gonna have the belt handy, just kind of on the side of your mat, long side of your mat. Coming back to Samasthiti, equanimity, slow, steady breath. Sweep your arms forward and up. Bend your knees, hinging into chair pose, Utkatasana. Plant your hands. Walk back to plank pose. And lower all the way down onto your belly. Let's keep the hands where they are, or slide them a little bit back so they're more in line with the ribs. But anywhere roughly rib shoulder area is good. Let's tuck the toes under here and drive through the heels. And then really press the front of your pelvis into the ground. So glutes will probably engage. Make sure that's happened. And then from here, we're going to have this downward and backward isometric action with the hands. We're not lifting up a ton here. Keep sinking the pubic bone into the ground. Hands down and back, chest forward and up, shoulder blades down and back. Energy through the legs. Lower down. Lift from your lower belly into downward facing dog. Okay, Vasisthasana, side plank. Let's spin to the outer edge of your left foot. You can either plant your right foot on top completely in front or stack the feet. Really want to bring this shoulder blade in, like you could suction your bottom shoulder blade in toward the front body. You can stay right here or come into tree pose. We're lifting this bottom leg up. Some of you can take your belt around your foot and extend the leg up on this, just like we did on our side and standing and on our belly and on our back. And then releasing the leg down, coming back to plank, lower all the way down onto your belly. Keep the toes tucked under, rooting through your hands with that kind of down and back energy. Root the pelvis into the floor. It's a small lift here. Rising up to all fours. Just hover the knees for a moment and then lift from the lower belly up to down dog. Second side for Vasisthasana, side plank. Spinning to the outer edge of the right foot. You can fully plant your left foot in front of the right or stack. Most important thing is to kind of lean back and dig the bottom tip of the right shoulder blade in. Can stay right here, or come into tree, or use your belt or not, extending up through the leg. Keep working that bottom shoulder blade above all. And then when you've had enough, coming back through to touchdown dog. Lower your knees, child's pose. Let's widen the knees, keeping the big toes together, and then stretch over to one side. Other side. Back to center. Breathe into the back. And from here, you can just let your hands slide along the floor as you round through your spine to come up. And then we'll come to sit. Legs out in front to start. Okay, so we're setting up for Gomukhasana. If this doesn't work for you seated, maybe supine is better. Okay, so we'll start, I'm show you lots of options here, but bending the right knee, bringing the right heel towards the outer left hip. This might be the end of the road, or you can do the same thing with the bottom heel. If you want to add some sensation, you can fold forward. Sometimes, well, usually anything that's seated is more accessible lying on your back. If you wanted to do this on your back, you would plant your feet, drape left leg over right, hug the knees in toward the chest. If you folded forward, rising up. If you're on your back, you can release and switch the cross of the legs. If you're seated, we'll stretch the legs out between sides. And then second side, right leg on top, or whatever your second side is. Maybe this is where you stay, or you can do the same shape with the bottom leg, Gomukhasana, maybe folding forward. Breathe into the ribs, the back of the rib cage, outer hips. And gradually releasing up and out. Gonna uncross your legs. If you're lying on your back, we'll meet you there, extending legs out in front. And slowly, with control, lowering onto your back. Reach for your feet or your thighs in Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Feet can press into hands. It's not just hands pulling down. So there's this equal and opposite energy. And then release your feet. Let's come into a supported bridge here. Lift your feet up, feet planted, lift your hips up. You can go any of the three settings, depending on how much and where you want to feel sensation. So block goes underneath the sacrum, not the tailbone, not the lower back. You could keep your feet planted or stretch legs up to vertical or straighten your legs with your heels on the ground. And take hold of your elbows up around your head. Energy through the legs, energy through the elbows. If the arms are overhead. And then wherever you are, you might see what it feels like to draw the ribs in toward each other, down toward your waist a little bit, and kind of toward the back body. So down, in, and back. Last few breaths here. And if you're ready to come out of your supported bridge, plant your feet and remove your block. Try to articulate one vertebra at a time, lowering down. And then extend your legs. Come into Shavasana. Eyes are closed. Body is relaxed. Enter a state of non-doing and just rest. Gradually bring your awareness back into your breath. Notice all the places where your body meets the earth. And take your time. When you're ready, if you're ready, you can stay in Shavasana for a long time, if you'd like. Otherwise, taking your time, moving gently, rising up to a seat. Bringing hands, palms together, or if you're lying on your back, you can stack hands on top of your heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you.